Hey, it's Brad here from Clearline Digital, and in this video I will be talking through a very exciting case study for a shutter company that we've been working with for around about the 2 years mark now. So to introduce them, when this client onboarded with us, they actually were working with another agency, but from their experience, they had all the right to just walk away from paid ads entirely. This other agency promised the world and just completely underdelivered. They had spent thousands and got very little return from their ads. And as well, the other agency were actually copying and pasting ads from their other clients. That left very little brand identity in the ads, which is a massive trust builder. They also had no transparency and no reporting, so that meant they didn't really have any idea where their money was going at all. So the takeaway from this, ads just don't work for our industry. And I understand their thought process in this. They had a very bad experience for quite a high profile agency. And as well, in the UK, shutters are more of a luxury product. They're not very standardized. Well, blinds would probably be the standard product that any households would have. So honestly, from that, who could blame them for thinking it? But deep down, they still wanted to grow. They just needed a completely different approach because they had the right foundations in place, in my opinion. They just needed one with a better strategy and one that was built on actual results, transparency, and trust. So, their problems. So, they had a mistrust in marketing, which is completely understandable given the actual experience they had had in the past. And that had also led to a ads don't work for us mentality. But they could see that many other shutter businesses were running Facebook ads. So there must be some value in them, and they had to have worked for other people to be spending a significant amount of money. They had no lead tracking, which I find in a lot of trades businesses. Everything is still done in a little diary, on little scribbles of paper, and it's just very hard to track. You forget things, you let people down, and it's very difficult to warm those leads back up. And that is why, for a lot of people, a big turning point is actually a CRM or customer relationship management software. Effectively, it's an online booking system, an online note-taking system, and an online diary where you can communicate with your customers as well. As well, unpredictable growth. So relying on word of mouth alone, it's great. Word of mouth is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it does have a few key drawbacks. It's not predictable. You could go and fit shutters for one person and they could refer you to five other people. But you could go and fit shutters for someone else. And even though they're completely really happy with the service, they won't refer anyone. And that is the problem because each person has a different number of referrals, even if they're happy. Could be one, could be 10, but you will never know. So what were their goals? So they didn't want overnight success. They knew it's very difficult to achieve because, if we could all achieve it, we'd all be millionaires. So they wanted sustainable, steady growth that they could handle and something they could depend on. They wanted a consistent flow of quality inquiries, not just more leads, just better ones, and people who actually valued craftsmanship and not just the cheapest price. They wanted to finally make digital ads work for their business. As you can see, they knew people were thriving online. They could see ads. I mean, I work for shutter businesses and I get bombarded by different shutter companies' ads. And they wanted to prove that it could work for their shutter business as well. They also wanted a proper system behind the scenes. They didn't want to rely on paper and diaries anymore because they knew things get lost and it gets really messy. And as you grow and you get a lot more orders, things just get missed and it's so difficult to keep track of everything. So what was our solution? I'm not going to take credit for number one because they actually fit shutters for a web designer and ended up with a new website. And we've since partnered with this web designer because his work is amazing. But their old website was slow and it was outdated. So it's been replaced with a sleek, mobile-friendly one designed to convert visitors into inquiries. It's got some lovely images. It's designed to build trust with clear calls to action everywhere. And you might think what this has to do with ads, but you'd be really surprised how many people click an ad, then they go either straight to your Facebook page or straight to your website. And if one of those looks completely awful, it makes people lose faith in your brand very quickly. Facebook ads that actually work. This was the obvious one which was coming. We crafted scroll-stopping creatives and ran highly targeted campaigns that weren't ran before. We utilised a lot of social proof they'd gained. They recently won an award and have won a few more since. And this kind of thing really helps build that trust factor, which in my opinion is the biggest added benefit in home improvement businesses to conversion rates, and that is build trust. So they didn't really have any guesswork. There was no real fluff, just steady, qualified leads that were landing every week and still are. The website guy also tweaked their Google My Business. So people searching shutter companies near me or made to measure shutters near me or in their area. We want to get in front of those people because they are high intent, they're searching for the product, and we can get in front of them for free by utilising Google My Business. So the web guy cleaned up and optimised their profile with accurate info, quality photos, and consistently we have collected 5-star reviews for them. So that means now they are showing up where local leads are searching for them. The next thing we did, lead tracking follow-up system. So we implemented the CRM I was talking about on the last slide, the customer relationship management system, or the online diaries I like to call it. So now every lead goes into a simple visual pipeline and you can drag them between the stages depending on where they are in the process. Nothing gets missed, everything gets measured and everything is tracked. So there's no more pen and paper, no more wondering, where did my inquiry go? It's just clarity, consistency and control. So let's look at the results. We didn't promise instant wins. We just promised the right foundations, and that paid off with a steady start. In the early months, results were modest. We were making profit, so we were doing better than breaking even. But during this time, we were just focused on learning what was working, refining their offer, and just building up their pipeline. No shortcuts, just smarter strategic growth that we can build upon over time. Then things took off. As the systems bedded in and we were understanding what was working for them and what reflected their brand the best, the data built up and the results kind of snowballed from there. Inquiries became more consistent and lead quality improved dramatically. And then conversion rates just started to increase month after month. So down here, I've got a little snippet of the actual ads manager for this month, and that is, we've got 70 leads in at £11.96 a lead, and this is consistent month after month now. On an average month, they'll easily do 50 leads at least. Some months they'll do, up to 80 or 90, but it's very steady. But then we look at overall results. So we're 2 years in with this client now, and the numbers just really speak for themselves. £30,000 in ad spend, roughly, and they've got over 400,000 in track revenue. Now, the really nice thing about this client is they actually, every time they go to a home visit, they actually ask where the lead has come from, like, where have you heard about us? And you'd be massively surprised on the amount of leads that see an ad, but then go to your website or phone you up. And for this particular client, he said for every 100 leads we get, we probably get 40 or 50 more indirectly through the website or a phone call. So although this 407 is purely through the form or landing page that we've run for them, I know that the higher intent leads are the ones that have rang you up or gone through the website. So this very easily could be double that figure. But I know for a fact it's this at a minimum. It's really good that this client actually goes through the paces and actually does that for us. So what have they achieved from this? Predictable growth. They no longer particularly have to hope that the phone rings, or they have some weeks that are completely dead because they've got leads coming in constantly on autopilot. So it's just steady opportunities coming in. They've now expanded their team. So when I started working with this client, it was just him, and his wife would help ring some of the leads for him. Since then, I know that he's took on another family member, and he's had to take on another fitter as well. So it's really good to see. I think that's the most rewarding thing as an agency, when you can see the client's team expanding and them growing as a business. And now they've got total control over their pipeline. So every lead's tracked, as you can see from those two tiles there, the quote providing the purchasers, and every sale is then measured. So they've finally got full visibility over where their inquiries are coming from, what stage each of these inquiries are in, and how they convert. So they can see and pinpoint what is actually driving their growth. So this is what is sustainable. This is what scalable marketing looks like. We've done a significant amount of testing purely around our brand. We've found things that work. We've optimized them, and now they're reaping the rewards from it. So what does this mean for you? If you've ever said ads don't work for a business like mine, or we've tried it once, total waste of money, a lot of people have said that, or we just rely on word of mouth, then this story should really feel familiar. Because here's the truth. It's not that the ads don't work, it's the strategy behind them that doesn't work. And what this shutter company proved is that with the right setup, such as a proper website, properly run ad campaigns, and clear lead tracking, and a bit of patience, even the most skeptical businesses can actually build a profitable, predictable marketing machine. So what would 400 grand in extra work mean for you? Because realistically, this isn't a one-off story, and we've done this for many other shutter businesses. It's repeatable. So if you're ready to do it right, and if you want to grow your own home improvement business, I think it'll be worth a call.